Welcome to Sleeping Kyoto. This channel is for those who need rest. Each video is a quiet journey through the ancient city of Kyoto, Japan. Tonight, we travel to one of the most beautiful places in all of Japan, Kinkaku-ji, the Temple of the Golden Pavilion. A temple covered entirely in gold, standing at the edge of a perfectly still pond, in the heart of ancient Kyoto. In this video, you will arrive at the temple before dawn. You will sit beside the still water and watch as the first light of morning touches the golden walls. This is not a story of excitement. It is a story of stillness, of gold and water and silence. If this sounds like something your heart needs tonight, please give this video a like. And if this brings you peace, we would love to know where you are in the world right now. Leave a comment below. Now, dim the lights if you can. Get comfortable. Close your eyes. Let's take this journey together. Welcome to Kyoto. Close your eyes. Take a slow breath in and breathe out. Let your body become heavy. Feel the weight of your arms, the weight of your legs. There is nothing you need to do right now. Nowhere you need to be. You are safe. You are still. Tonight we travel together to a place of stillness, a place of gold and water and silence. We are going to Kyoto, to a temple that has stood for over 600 years, a temple covered entirely in gold. Its name is Kinkaku-ji, the Temple of the Golden Pavilion. Breathe in slowly and out. You are standing at the entrance to the temple grounds. It is early, very early. The city of Kyoto is still sleeping. The streets are quiet. The shops are closed. Only you are here. The air is cool against your skin. Cool and clean. You breathe it in. There is a faint smell of pine trees and something else. The smell of water. Still water. Before you is a stone path. It leads into the darkness, into the temple grounds. You take one step forward. The stone is cold beneath your feet, smooth and ancient. How many people have walked this path before you? Hundreds of thousands. Millions, perhaps. Over 600 years of footsteps. This temple was built in the year 1397. Over 600 years ago. It was built by a man named Ashikaga Yoshimitsu. He was a very powerful man, the leader of Japan at that time. He chose this place. This quiet place beside the water. And he built something beautiful here. At first, it was not a temple. It was a villa, a private home, a place where Yoshimitsu could rest, away from the noise of the city, away from the weight of power. He would sit beside this very pond and look out at the Golden Pavilion, just as you are about to do. Breathe in and out. The trees are tall on either side of the path. Ancient pine trees. Their branches reach out above you, forming a canopy of dark green. Through the branches you can see the sky, deep blue, not quite black, not yet gray. The hour before dawn, the quietest hour of the day. You keep walking, slowly. There is no rush. The path curves gently to the left. You follow it, and then you stop, because there it is, the pond. Kinkaku-ji, the mirror pond. It is perfectly still, like a sheet of dark glass. You stand at its edge, and you look out across the water. The surface is so still that it reflects the sky perfectly. The deep blue of the pre-dawn sky, the faint stars still visible above. And there, across the pond, just barely visible in the darkness, a shape, a building, 3 stories tall, Kinkaku-ji. In the darkness before dawn, it is just a silhouette, a dark shape against the dark sky. But you know what it is. And you know what it will look like when the light comes. For now, you simply stand here, at the edge of the still water, in the silence. There is a low stone bench nearby. You sit down. The stone is cool beneath you, but it feels good, grounding. You look out at the pond again, at the still dark water, at the reflection of the sky. This pond has been here for over 600 years. When Yoshimitsu first sat beside this water, Japan was a very different place. There were no cars, no electricity, no modern cities. Just this, water and trees and silence, and a golden building reflected in a still pond. Yoshimitsu lived here for the last years of his life. He loved this place very much. Yoshimitsu was not just a powerful military leader. He was also a great lover of beauty. Under his leadership, Japanese culture flourished in ways it never had before. He supported no theater, an ancient form of Japanese performance art, slow and symbolic and deeply beautiful. Performers wearing masks of carved wood, moving across a bare wooden stage, their gestures slow and deliberate, every movement carrying meaning. No theater is one of the oldest theatrical traditions in the world, and Yoshimitsu helped bring it to its greatest heights. He also supported ink painting, the delicate art of painting with black ink on white paper. Simple lines, capturing the essence of mountains, of water, of trees in the mist. In Japanese ink painting, what is left out is as important as what is put in. The empty space speaks. The silence between the brush strokes tells the story. And he supported the tea ceremony, that ancient ritual of preparing and drinking tea, with great care and attention. Every movement deliberate, every gesture meaningful. The tea ceremony is not simply about drinking tea. It is about being fully present, in one moment, with one bowl, in one quiet room. This period of Japanese history is called the Muromachi period. It is considered one of the great golden ages of Japanese culture, and Yoshimitsu was at the center of all of it. He lived in his retirement villa for the last years of his life, sitting beside this pond, looking out at the Golden Pavilion. He died in the year 1408. He was 50 years old. According to his wishes, his beloved villa was converted into a Zen Buddhist temple after his death. It was named Rokun-ji, after Yoshimitsu's Buddhist name. Rokun means deer garden. Long ago, it is said, deer wandered freely through these grounds, moving silently between the pine trees, their soft footsteps on the moss, their breath visible in the cold morning air. The Golden Pavilion became known as the Shadi Den, the Hall of Sacred Relics. Inside, sacred Buddhist objects were carefully kept, objects brought from distant places, carried by monks across mountains and oceans. The temple became an important place of pilgrimage. People came from all over Japan to visit. For centuries, the temple stood here. It survived wars that tore Japan apart. During the Onin War, which began in 1467, much of Kyoto was burned to the ground. Entire neighborhoods destroyed, ancient temples reduced to ash. But Kinkaku-ji survived. It stood through earthquakes, through floods, through the passing of many dynasties. While the world changed around it, the Golden Pavilion remained, standing quietly beside its still pond. For over 500 years, but then came the year 1950, and everything changed. On the morning of July the 2nd, 1950, a young monk set fire to the temple. His name was Hayashi Yoken. He was 21 years old, a novice monk who had come to study at the temple. He came from a poor family in a small town. He had a stutter. He struggled to connect with the other monks. He later said that he felt the beauty of the temple was too perfect, that its beauty made him feel worthless by comparison. Whatever was in his heart that morning, he set fire to the Golden Pavilion in the early hours before dawn. The fire spread quickly through the old wooden structure. By the time it was over, the temple that had stood for over 500 years was gone, reduced to ash and burned timber. All of Japan was devastated. Newspapers across the country ran the story on their front pages. The Golden Pavilion had been a symbol of Japan's cultural heritage, a connection to a glorious past, and it was gone. After the fire, Hayashi Yoken tried to take his own life on the nearby mountain. He was found alive and arrested. He was convicted of arson and sentenced to 7 years in prison. He never served the full sentence. He became seriously ill in prison and died just 3 years later, at the age of 26. The famous Japanese author, Yukio Mishima, was deeply moved by this event. In 1956, he published a novel inspired by the story. He called it Kinkaku-ji, the Temple of the Golden Pavilion. It tells the story of a young monk who becomes obsessed with the beauty of the Golden Pavilion. So obsessed that he cannot bear for anything else to exist beside it. It is one of the most celebrated novels in Japanese literature, translated into dozens of languages, read by millions of people around the world. But back to the temple itself. After the fire, the people of Japan made a decision. They would rebuild. Using old photographs, drawings, and historical records, architects carefully studied the original design. Every detail was considered: the curve of the roof, the proportion of each floor, the placement of every window. The reconstruction was completed in 1955, just 5 years after the fire, and this time a significant change was made. The original temple had gold leaf only on the upper 2 floors, but the rebuilt temple was covered in gold leaf on all 3 floors, more gold than ever before. And then in 1987, the gold leaf was replaced again, this time with an even thicker layer, 5 times thicker than the previous coating. It is said that the total amount of gold leaf on the temple today weighs approximately 20 kilograms. 20 kilograms of pure gold, pressed into sheets so thin you could almost see through them, and carefully applied by hand to every surface. Every wall, every pillar, every corner of the sweeping rooftop, all of it gold. And at the very top of the roof stands a small golden phoenix. In Japanese and Chinese tradition, the phoenix is a mythical bird. It is said to live for hundreds of years, and when it dies, it bursts into flame. And from the ashes, a new phoenix is born. Perhaps it was fate then, that a temple topped with a phoenix was consumed by fire and rose again from the ashes, more golden than before. The 3 floors of the Golden Pavilion each tell a different story. The first floor is built in the style of the Heian period. The Heian period was the age of the imperial court, a time of great elegance and refinement. The nobles of that era wrote poetry. They composed music. They wore robes of layered silk in carefully chosen colors. The first floor of Kinkaku-ji reflects that world. Natural wood, open verandas facing the pond, elegant and unhurried. The second floor is built in the style of a samurai residence. The samurai were the warrior class of Japan, men and women who trained their entire lives in the art of combat. But the samurai were not only warriors, they also valued poetry, calligraphy, the tea ceremony. The second floor reflects that combination, strength and refinement together. And the third floor, at the very top, is built in the style of a Chinese Zen temple. Zen Buddhism came to Japan from China. It teaches that enlightenment can be found, not through studying texts, not through elaborate rituals, but through sitting quietly, in stillness, in silence, just breathing, just being present. The third floor reflects that philosophy. Curved roof lines, decorative windows, peaceful and still. 3 floors, 3 different styles, 3 different ways of understanding the world. The court noble, the warrior, the monk, all united in one building, all covered in gold, all reflected in this still, dark pond. The garden surrounding the pond is considered one of the finest examples of Japanese garden design. In Japanese garden design, nothing happens by accident. Every stone is placed with intention. Every tree is carefully shaped. Every path is designed to guide the eye. The garden is meant to look effortless, natural, as if it simply grew this way. But it is in fact the result of centuries of quiet, careful human work. Gardeners have tended this space for over 600 years, trimming the ancient pine trees, raking the gravel paths, removing fallen leaves from the surface of the pond, so that the water remains clear, still, a perfect mirror. Generation after generation of gardeners, each one learning from the one before, each one passing their knowledge on, so that you could sit here tonight, beside this still water, and look out at this reflection. 600 years of quiet work, so that this moment could exist. The sky above is slowly changing, very slowly, very quietly. The deep blue of the night is beginning to soften at the edges. Dawn is coming. But it is not here yet. For now, there is still only the darkness, the still water, the silhouette of the Golden Pavilion across the pond, waiting, patient and still, as it has always been. Now, you've been sitting beside the pond for a while, still and quiet, in the darkness before dawn. And now, I would like to take you somewhere. I am going to be your guide tonight, your personal guide, through the grounds of Kinkaku-ji, before anyone else arrives. Just you and me, walking through this ancient garden in the quiet hours before dawn. I will describe everything we see, every stone, every tree, every corner of this extraordinary place, so that even with your eyes closed, you can see it perfectly. Think of me as your private tour guide, the kind that normally costs a lot of money, but tonight, completely free. You are very lucky. Are you ready? Good. Let's begin. Now, I have to be honest with you about something first. Kinkaku-ji is officially closed right now. The gates close at 5 o'clock in the evening, and it is currently well before dawn. So technically, we are not supposed to be here. But I have been coming to this garden for a very long time, and I know a way in. Don't worry, just follow me. And please, be very quiet. The security guard does his rounds at around 4 in the morning. He is actually a very nice man. I have met him before, but I would prefer not to explain ourselves tonight. So just don't make any sudden movements. And whatever you do, do not sneeze. All right. You see that small gap in the fence? Just to the left of the main gate. It is just wide enough for a person to slip through. If that person breathes in just a little, which, since you have been breathing very slowly and deeply tonight, should be no problem at all. In you go. There, you made it. Welcome to the after hours, completely unofficial, absolutely free of charge, Sleeping Kyoto secret tour of Kinkaku-ji. Normally the entrance fee is 500 yen. That is about $3 or $4. Honestly, for what you are about to see, it is one of the greatest bargains in the world. But tonight, it is completely on me. You are very welcome. Now, before we begin, one small piece of practical information. The toilets. Normally, if you visit during the day, there are very clean, modern toilets just to the right of the entrance. Japan is famous for its toilets, as you may know. They are extraordinary. Heated seats, all kinds of buttons. It is honestly a whole experience in itself. However, since we are here slightly outside of normal visiting hours, the toilets are locked. I apologize for this. I should have mentioned it before we slipped through the fence. My mistake entirely. But on the bright side, since you have been lying very still for a while now, I suspect you are probably fine. Let's continue. We are now standing just inside the main entrance. Look straight ahead. There is a wide gravel path in front of you. The gravel is pale gray, very fine, almost like sand, raked perfectly smooth every single morning by the gardeners. Every morning, without fail, for hundreds of years. And I should mention, the gravel we are about to walk on was raked perfectly smooth just a few hours ago. Our footsteps will leave marks in it. The gardener will notice tomorrow morning. He will probably be a little puzzled. 2 sets of footprints in a locked garden before dawn. But don't worry, he will just rake it smooth again. That is what gardeners do. And honestly, after 600 years of doing this every single morning, I think he can handle it. Now, on either side of the gravel path are tall, ancient pine trees. Their trunks are dark and rough, like the skin of something very, very old. These trees have been standing here for centuries. They were already old when your great-great-great-grandparents were born. Think about that for a moment. These trees have seen everything. Wars, earthquakes, fires, the rise and fall of empires. And now, they are watching you, sneaking into a closed garden, in your pajamas. I think they have seen worse. Shall we walk? Step carefully onto the gravel. In this silence, you can hear each step clearly, the soft crunch of fine gravel beneath your feet. It is the only sound in the world right now. No cars, no voices, no birds yet, just your footsteps on this ancient path. Look to your right. Between the pine trees, you can see the garden spreading out. Carefully shaped bushes, round and smooth, like dark green clouds sitting on the ground. And between the bushes, moss, covering the ground like a thick, soft carpet. This moss is famous, actually. In the daylight, it is the most vivid, brilliant green you have ever seen. The kind of green that makes you think your eyes are broken. But right now, in the darkness, it is a deep, dark green, like the color of the ocean at night, rich and still. And here and there among the moss, stones, carefully placed stones. Now, every stone in this garden was chosen deliberately. 600 years ago, someone stood here, looked at this exact spot, and thought very carefully about exactly what kind of stone should go here. What shape, what size, what color. 600 years of careful thought, just for that one stone. I sometimes think about that when I am trying to decide what to have for lunch. 600 years of careful thought, for one stone, and I cannot even decide between 2 sandwiches. We keep walking. The path curves gently to the left here. Follow the curve. And now, stop. Right here. Look straight ahead. Through the trees. Do you see it? Just beyond the last row of pine trees, something is reflecting the starlight. A faint shimmer, like a mirror lying flat on the ground, but much, much larger. That is the pond. Kinkaku-ji, the mirror pond. We are almost there. Follow me through the last few trees. Watch your step here. The roots of the pine trees come up through the ground here. Large, smooth roots, arching up from the earth, like the backs of ancient sea creatures. Step carefully over them. These roots, by the way, are connected to trees that have been growing here since before Shakespeare was born, before Columbus sailed to America. just casually stepping over 600 years of history here. No big deal. One more step. And now, step out from between the trees. And look. The mirror pond of Kinkaku-ji. It is large. Larger than you might expect. Perhaps the size of 2 or 3 swimming pools placed side by side. And perfectly still. Not a single ripple on its surface. The water is dark, almost black in the darkness before dawn. But it reflects the sky above perfectly. The same stars that are above you are also below you, in the water, as if the pond has swallowed the night sky and is holding it gently. Now, this pond was designed by Yoshimitsu himself, 600 years ago. He wanted a pond that would reflect the pavilion perfectly, so that whether you looked up or looked down, you would see Kinkaku-ji. Double the gold for the same price. Very clever man, Yoshimitsu. And there, across the pond, is Kinkaku-ji, the Golden Pavilion. Right now, in the darkness, it is a silhouette, a dark shape against the deep blue sky. 3 floors, each floor slightly smaller than the one below. The roof of each floor curves upward at the corners, sweeping up toward the sky, like the wings of a bird about to take flight. And at the very top, the golden phoenix, small and still, at the very top of the world. Now, during the day, this spot right here is extremely crowded. On a busy day, Kinkaku-ji receives about 4,000 visitors. 4,000 people, all standing more or less where you are standing now, all taking photographs, all holding up their phones. There are actually signs asking people not to push. Right now, there is no one, just you. 4,000 people during the day, 1 person right now. I think you chose the better option. Let's walk along the edge of the pond. This path follows the water's edge, all the way around. The path is made of flat gray stones, smooth and slightly damp from the night air. On your left as you walk, the pond, still and dark and reflecting everything. On your right, the garden, pine trees, shaped bushes, deep green moss, ancient stones. As we walk along the pond, the view of the pavilion changes with each step. Now you can see the left side more clearly. The open wooden verandas on the 2nd and 3rd floors. These verandas face the pond. 600 years ago, Ashikaga Yoshimitsu stood on those very verandas, looking out at this same pond. Now, Yoshimitsu was the 3rd shogun of the Muromachi period. Essentially the most powerful man in Japan. He controlled the military. He controlled the government. He controlled the trade with China. And after about 30 years of running the entire country, he decided he was tired. So he retired. He was 37 years old. 37. He built this villa, this garden, this pavilion, and he spent the rest of his life here, just sitting by the pond, looking at the water, practicing the tea ceremony, writing poetry, supporting artists and musicians. Honestly, not a bad retirement plan. We continue walking, and now, on your left, notice the small islands in the pond. There are several of them, rocky outcroppings rising from the water. some with small, twisted pine trees growing on them. These islands have names, by the way. Japanese garden designers name everything. The stones, the islands, the trees. Every element of the garden has an identity, a purpose, a story. These islands were positioned very deliberately, so that when you look across the water, your eye moves naturally from island to island, and finally to the pavilion, a journey designed for your eye. 600 years ago, before television, before cinema, before any of it, people understood how to guide the eye, how to create a beautiful experience, just with water and stone and trees. Now, just ahead on the right, you will see a stone lantern. It stands about waist height, made of gray stone, with a small roof on top. The entire surface is covered in moss, deep green and soft. Now, this lantern has been standing here since the Muromachi period. That means it has been standing here for roughly 600 years. It has never moved. Not once. Wars happened around it. The temple burned down next to it in 1950. And this lantern just stayed, right where it has always been. I find that very reassuring, honestly. In a world where everything changes, this moss-covered stone lantern has not moved 1 centimeter. 600 years of staying exactly where you are. We could all learn something from that lantern. We continue along the path, slowly, one step at a time. And now we arrive at my absolute favorite spot. Right here. Stop for a moment and look directly across the pond. From this exact spot, the view is perfect. You are looking straight at the front of the pavilion, all 3 floors directly in front of you. Now let me explain the 3 floors.
Because each floor is actually built in a completely different architectural style. The first floor at the bottom is built in the style of the Heian period, the style of the ancient imperial court. Natural wood, open and elegant. This was the era of Japanese nobles, who spent their days writing poetry and composing music and wearing 12 layers of silk robes. 12 layers. In the middle of summer, I am not sure how they managed, honestly. The second floor is built in the style of a samurai residence, strong and refined. The samurai valued not just fighting, but also poetry, calligraphy, the tea ceremony. They believed that a warrior who could not appreciate beauty was not truly a great warrior. And the third floor, at the very top, is built in the style of a Chinese Zen temple, peaceful and still, with its curved roofline sweeping up at the corners. 3 different worlds, 3 different centuries, all in one building. It is a little like building a house where the ground floor is Victorian, the second floor is Art Deco, and the third floor is ultra-modern glass and steel. It should not work, and yet it is one of the most beautiful buildings in the world. And at the very peak of the roof, the Golden Phoenix, standing at the highest point, against the deep blue sky. Now look at the water, the reflection of all 3 floors, perfectly mirrored in the still, dark pond, the pavilion above, and its twin below, as if the pond is a window into another world, where everything is upside down, but equally beautiful. Now just ahead, there is a small wooden bridge. It crosses a narrow stream. Water flows quietly from the pond, under this bridge, and out into the garden beyond. Step onto the bridge. Feel the old wood beneath your feet. And now listen. Can you hear it? Water, moving quietly beneath you,
the softest sound, water flowing over smooth stones. In the complete silence of this garden, that small sound of moving water is everything. That same sound has been here for 600 years. The same stream, the same water, the same gentle sound, day and night, summer and winter, without stopping. We cross the bridge, and now we are in the quieter part of the garden. This part is less visited, even during the day. Most tourists come to see the pavilion. They take their photographs, and then they leave. They do not come this far, which means you are now somewhere that most visitors never reach. The hidden part of the garden, the part that belongs to the trees, and the moss, and the silence. The trees here are closer together. Their branches touch overhead, forming a dark canopy above you. The moss here is deeper than anywhere else in the garden. It covers everything: the ground, the rocks, the roots of the trees. Everything is green here.
Dark, deep, ancient green. It feels more ancient in this part of the garden, as if time moves differently here, or perhaps does not move at all. We walk slowly through the trees, and then the trees open up again, and we are back beside the pond. But on the far side now, the opposite side from where we started, and from here, the pavilion looks completely different. You can see the side of the building now, the way the 3 floors step back from each other, and the reflection in the water from this angle stretches further across the dark water, like a golden road leading somewhere. Find a comfortable place to stand, and just look. Breathe in, breathe out. You know, this temple has survived everything. 600 years of everything. Wars, earthquakes, floods. It even survived being burned to the ground in 1950, and came back more golden than before. There is something very comforting about that. The idea that something beautiful can survive anything, can be destroyed completely, and still come back, still standing, still gold, still reflected in this same still pond. Now look at the horizon. Just at the very edge of the sky, in the east. There, the very faintest lightning, the deep blue softening, just slightly, just at the very edge of the world. Dawn is coming, and when it comes, the gold of the pavilion will begin to glow. 20 kilograms of pure gold, catching the first rays of the sun, and the reflection in the pond, doubling that gold, filling the entire pond with golden light. But that moment has not yet come. For now, the darkness is still ours. This silence is still ours. This garden is still ours. Just breathe. In, out. The pavilion is there, waiting, patient, still, as it has always been. And so are you, still, patient, at rest, in this secret garden, before the dawn. Now, we have been standing here for a while, at the edge of the pond, in the darkness before dawn. The pavilion is still there, across the water, patient and still, just as we left it. But tonight, there is more to see. This garden is larger than it looks, much larger. Most people only ever see the pond, and the pavilion. They come, They photograph. They leave. But tonight, we have the whole garden to ourselves. And I want to show you something. Something most visitors never find. Follow me. Away from the pond, into the garden. The path here becomes narrower. Just wide enough for one person. And notice something else. The ground is changing beneath your feet. The gravel is gone now. Instead, soft earth and pine needles. Centuries of pine needles, fallen and layered, year by year, into the softest possible carpet. Each step is completely silent now. No more crunch of gravel, just silence. Deep, soft silence. With every step, the trees here are older, their trunks wider, their roots more dramatic, arching out of the dark earth and back in again, like the backs of sleeping giants. And the moss here is deeper than anywhere else in the garden. It covers everything: the ground, the rocks, the roots, the fallen branches. Everything is one continuous surface of deep, ancient green, as if the whole garden is one living thing. Breathing slowly in the darkness. And now, just ahead on the right, do you see that small structure? Half hidden behind the trees. A low wooden building. Very simple. This is the gardener's shed. It doesn't look like much. From the outside, just a place to keep tools. Rakes, brooms, pruning scissors. The same tools, used every single day for 600 years. Think about that. Every morning, someone has come to this garden. Before the visitors arrive, before anyone else is awake. A little like us tonight, actually. Except they had permission. And they raked the gravel. They trimmed the bushes. They tended the moss. Kept everything exactly as it should be. Generation after generation. Father to son. Master to apprentice. The same garden. The same quiet dedication. No one ever sees this work being done. That is the whole point. The best gardening is invisible. You see only the result. A garden that looks as if it has always been perfect. As if nature itself arranged everything just so. That is the art. Making 600 years of daily human effort look effortless. We continue walking. The path begins to rise a little here. Just gently. Follow the slope upward. The trees are thinning slightly, and the air feels different up here. Cooler, fresher. And now, stop, right here. Look through the trees to your left. There. Do you see it? Just visible through the branches. A small building. Very simple. Very quiet. With a thatched roof. This is Sekete. The name Sekete means the tea house where the evening light on the Golden Pavilion is especially beautiful, which is a lovely name. And I am sure the evening light here is magnificent. However, it is currently the middle of the night, so the evening light is not really available to us right now. My apologies. Something to come back for. During the day, with permission. Now, this tea house was built in the early 1600s.
by a master of the tea ceremony named Kanamori Soa. And here is something interesting. Some people believe that this small tea house cost more to build than the Golden Pavilion itself, because of one thing: the pillar in the center of the room. It is made from a single piece of nanten wood. Nanten is a small bush. It does not usually grow large enough to be used as a building pillar. So to find one large enough was extraordinarily rare and extraordinarily expensive. A pillar made of nanten in a room the size of 3 tatami mats that may have cost more than 20 kilograms of gold. I find that wonderful, honestly. The most valuable thing in this garden may not be the gold. It may be a small, rare piece of wood in a tiny tea room that most visitors walk right past without ever noticing. We leave the tea house behind and walk back down the slope toward the pond. The path softens again beneath your feet. Pine needles, moss, the trees closing in again above you. And then the trees open up, and the pond is there. Kinkaku-ji, the mirror pond, still perfectly still perfectly dark, still reflecting the stars above. Come, let's sit here, right at the water's edge. There is a flat stone here, just big enough to sit on, smooth and cool. Sit down and look up, at the sky, at the stars. Now, on a clear night in Kyoto, you can see thousands of stars. Kyoto is surrounded by mountains on 3 sides, which keeps the city quieter, darker, and the sky above Kinkaku-ji, on a clear night like tonight, is extraordinary. Look at the stars. Take your time. There is no hurry. Now look down, at the pond. The same stars, reflected in the still water. Above you, thousands of stars. Below you, thousands of stars. And you are sitting between them. Between 2 skies full of stars, in this ancient garden, in the silence, in the darkness before dawn, and the pavilion, just across the pond, watching over everything, as it always has. Breathe in, breathe out. There is nowhere else to be right now, nowhere in the world, just here, sitting between the stars, at the edge of the mirror pond, at Kinkaku-ji, in the darkness before dawn. Breathe in, breathe out, in, out. The water is still, the garden is still, the stars are still, and so are you. Still, quiet, at rest, here, in this secret garden, before the dawn. Look at the stars. Take your time. There is no hurry. I have been here many times, always at this hour, just before dawn. And every single time, I sit down right here, at the edge of the pond, and I just look up, for a while, without thinking about anything. And then I look down, at the water, and somehow, that always helps. I am not sure why, but it does. Now look at the water right in front of you. the surface of the pond. Perfectly still, like dark glass, like the color of the sky has fallen down and settled here. The same stars you just saw above you are now below you. Every single one. The bright ones, the faint ones, all of them, mirrored perfectly in the still, dark water. I find it hard to describe what that looks like. A pond full of stars. The night sky lying flat on the ground, right at your feet. I have tried to describe it to people before, and I always give up. There are no words. You just have to see it. Which is exactly what you are doing right now. Now look at the pond more carefully. Just beneath the surface. Look for movement. Very slow movement. There. Do you see them? The carp. Large, ancient carp. Moving through the reflected stars. So slowly that they barely disturb the surface at all. Some of these fish are decades old. They have been swimming in this pond their whole lives. Back and forth. Very slowly. Beneath the reflected stars. Completely unaware of you sitting up here. Completely unaware of the Golden Pavilion above them. Just drifting. Peacefully. In the cold, dark water. In the silence. I find that very comforting somehow. The idea that right beneath your feet, in this ancient garden, life is just quietly continuing. On its own terms. Without any fuss. Without any drama. The same way it has been continuing, in this same pond, for 600 years. Now look up at the pavilion. From down here at the water's edge, it looks different from this angle. Taller. More imposing. The 3 floors rising above you. The curved roof lines against the deep blue sky. And at the very top, the phoenix. Small against the night sky. Standing exactly where it has always stood. Through every season. Every storm. 600 years of just standing there. Watching over this garden. And over this pond. And right now, over you. Now look back down at the water. At the reflection of the pavilion. The dark silhouette. Reaching down into the pond. One pavilion reaching up toward the sky. One pavilion reaching down into the earth. Connected at the waterline. Above and below. Real and reflected. In the darkness before dawn, it is genuinely hard to tell which is which. And I have been coming here for years, and I still cannot decide. Which one is more beautiful? The real one? Or the reflected one? I think tonight, they are the same. Now look at the whole pond, from where you are sitting. The pavilion reflected in the center. The small islands rising from the water. Their reflections below. The ancient pine trees at the edges. Their branches reflected in the water too. Dark and still. And above everything, the stars. And below everything, the same stars. The whole garden doubled. Above and below. Real and reflected. Now, I want you to just sit with this for a moment. Not thinking about anything. Not trying to remember it. not trying to describe it. Just here, in this ancient garden, in this stillness, with the stars above you, and the stars below you, and the pavilion, just across the still, dark water. Patient, still, as it has always been. Breathe in, breathe out, in, out. The water is still, the garden is still, the stars are still, and so are you. Still, quiet, at rest, here, in this secret garden, before the dawn. Now, look at the pavilion. From here, across the water. It is beautiful from this distance, isn't it? But I have been thinking, would you like to get closer? Much closer. Close enough to see the gold leaf on the walls. Close enough to reach out and touch it. Now, normally, visitors are not allowed near the pavilion. You can only see it from across the pond, which is wonderful. But tonight, this is a dream. And in a dream, the usual rules don't apply. So tonight, we can go all the way up to the pavilion. And if you want to, you can touch the gold. Come, let's walk toward it. Stand up slowly. The stone beneath you is smooth and slightly damp. Take your time and walk with me along the edge of the pond toward the pavilion. The path is flat here. Smooth gray stones beneath your feet, damp from the night air. Each step quiet, almost soundless. The pond is on your left as you walk, still and dark, reflecting everything above it. And on your right, the garden. The ancient pines, the shaped bushes, the deep moss. All of it still, all of it watching. And now look ahead. The pavilion is getting closer. With each step, you can see it more clearly now. The 3 floors, the curved roof lines, the wooden verandas, and the gold. Just barely visible in the darkness. A faint gleam, like something remembering that it is golden. Just barely, in the darkness before dawn. Keep walking. Slowly. One step at a time. The pavilion is larger now, much larger than it looked from across the pond. That always happens here. From far away, it looks almost delicate, like something that could be blown away by a strong wind. But up close, it is substantial, heavy, permanent, built to last, which is a little ironic, given that it burned to the ground in 1950. But still, here it is, still standing. And now, stop here. right here. You are now standing right next to the pavilion. Look up. All 3 floors directly above you. Now, let me take you through each floor, one at a time, starting from the bottom. The first floor, right here at eye level. Look at the wood. Natural. Unpainted. The color of aged cypress. Deep and warm. This floor was built in the style of the Heian Imperial Court. The aristocrats of ancient Japan, who spent their days writing poetry, composing music, watching the seasons change. This floor is open and elegant. No gold here. Just beautiful natural wood. Simple. Quiet. Like the people it was built for. Now look up, to the second floor. This is where the gold begins. Even in the darkness before dawn, you can see it. Just barely. A faint, warm gleam. The second floor was built in the style of a samurai residence. Strong. Refined. The samurai believed that a warrior who could not appreciate beauty was not truly great. So they built this floor with gold. Beauty and strength together, in one building. And now look up further, to the third floor. The very top. Built in the style of a Chinese Zen temple. Peaceful. Still. The curved roofline sweeping upward at the corners. Like wings. Like something about to take flight. And at the very peak, the phoenix. Small against the night sky, but perfectly clear. Standing exactly where it has always stood. 3 floors. 3 different worlds. All in one building. Right above you. Now, reach out your hand toward the gold. Slowly. In a dream, you can touch it. No ropes. No signs. No security guard. Just you and the gold. Go ahead. Now feel the surface. It is cool. Much cooler than you expected. The night air has cooled it down. And smooth. Extraordinarily smooth. Each piece of gold leaf is thinner than a human hair. Thinner than a piece of paper. Almost impossibly thin. And yet, it has survived. 600 years of summers. 600 years of winters. 600 years of rain. And it is still here, beneath your fingertips. Now move your hand slightly, along the surface, very gently. You can feel where one piece of gold leaf ends, and another begins. Each piece was applied by hand, by craftsmen who trained for years, just to do this one thing: apply gold leaf to this building, in the summer heat of Kyoto, without breathing too hard, because even a breath could blow the gold leaf away. That is how thin it is. A single breath could undo hours of work. So they held their breath and pressed each tiny piece carefully into place, one at a time, for the entire building. Now,
Rest your hand against the gold, just for a moment. Feel the coolness of it against your palm. This gold has been touched by almost no one in 600 years. The craftsmen who applied it, the craftsmen who repaired it, and now, you, in a dream, in the darkness before dawn, at Kinkaku-ji. Just breathe. In, out. And feel the gold, cool and smooth, ancient and still, beneath your hand. Now look at the veranda, the second floor veranda. It is empty now. Of course it is. It is the middle of the night. But 600 years ago, Ashikaga Yoshimitsu stood on that veranda. Right there. And looked out at this same pond. At the same water. The same garden. The same sky above. And now you are standing here. Right where he once looked. 600 years apart, looking at each other across time. Now look down at the water, right at your feet. From this close to the pavilion, the reflection is completely different. From across the pond, you saw the whole building reflected. Small and perfect. But from here, the reflection fills everything. The entire surface of the water. The gold above you. Stretching down into the dark water below. As if the pavilion has no bottom. As if it goes all the way down. Into the earth. Endlessly. Look at the gold in the water. Even in the darkness before dawn, it is there. That same faint gleam, but now doubled. The real gold above, and its perfect twin below. Separated only by the surface of the water. That thin line, between the real and the reflected, between above and below, between this world and the one beneath the water. You are standing right at that line, right at the edge, where the two worlds meet. Now, just stay here. Right where you are, right next to the pavilion, the gold beside you, the reflection below you, the water between the two worlds, and the silence, the complete, absolute silence of this garden. Before the dawn. Breathe in. Breathe out. In. Out. The pavilion is here. right beside you. Patient. Still. As it has always been. And so are you. Still. Quiet. At rest. Here. Beside the Golden Pavilion. Before the dawn. Now. Take your hand away from the gold. That's it. Just one step back. And look up at the pavilion. One more time. The whole building. All 3 floors. The gold. The curved roofs. The phoenix at the top. Still there. Exactly as it has always been. You came very close tonight. Closer than most people ever get. And you touched the gold. In a dream. Not many people can say that. It is time to leave the pavilion behind. And walk back to the pond. The same path we walked before. The flat gray stones. The still dark water on your left. The ancient garden on your right. Walk slowly. There is no hurry. The garden is ours for as long as we need it. Do you remember this stone? Right here, at the water's edge. The flat, smooth stone, where we sat before. Come, sit down again. Take your time. The stone is cool and smooth, just as it was before. And the pond is still there, the pavilion across the water. A little further away now, but still there, still watching. Now, I want to tell you something. We have walked a long way tonight, you and I, through the gate, along the gravel path, into the garden, past the gardener's shed, up to the tea house, back to the pond, and all the way up to the pavilion itself. That is a lot of walking for the middle of the night. I am impressed, honestly. Most people would have fallen asleep long before now. But now, I think it is time to rest. You have seen everything there is to see tonight. The garden, the pond, the pavilion, the gold, the stars, the reflection, the silence. All of it. You have it all now. Right here, in this moment. So now, I am going to ask you to do something. Just one thing. Leave it all here in the garden. The garden. The pavilion. The gold. All the beautiful things we saw tonight. Leave them here. They will still be here when you wake up. The pavilion will still be standing. The pond will still be still. The gold will still be gold. None of it is going anywhere. So you don't need to hold on to it. Just leave it here. And rest. Close your eyes, if they are not already closed. And just breathe. In. Out. In. Out. Feel the weight of your body sinking down into wherever you are lying. Your head heavy. Your shoulders releasing. Your arms still. Your hands open. Relaxed. Your legs heavy and still. Your whole body sinking deeper into stillness. In. Out. In. Out. The pond is still. The garden is still. The pavilion is still. And you are still. I have one more thing to tell you before I go quiet. This garden has been here for 600 years, and it will be here long after tonight. Long after all of us, and somewhere in Kyoto right now, the real garden is sleeping too. The real pond is still. The real pavilion is standing in the darkness, just as we imagined it. Patient. Still. Waiting for the dawn. Just like you. So now, I am going to be quiet and just sit here with you for a while, in the silence, in the darkness before dawn. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to think about anything. Just breathe. In. Out. The garden is here. The pavilion is here. And so are you. Still. Quiet. At rest. In this ancient garden. Before the dawn. The garden is here. The pond is here. The pavilion is here. And you are here. Still. Quiet. At rest. The water does not move. The trees do not move. The garden does not move. Nothing moves. Except your breath. In. Out. In. Out. the stars above, the stars below, and you between them, breathing. Slowly. The pavilion is watching, as it always has. 600 years of watching over this garden, and tonight, watching over you. In, out. The night is deep. The darkness is soft. The silence is complete. There is nowhere else to be. Nothing else to do. Nothing else to think about. Just this. This garden. This darkness. This stillness. In. Out. The pond holds the sky. The garden holds the silence. And the darkness holds you. Gently. Completely. In. Out. Your body is heavy. Your mind is quiet. Your breath is slow. Everything is exactly as it should be. The pavilion. Still. The pond. Still. The garden. Still. You. Still. In. Out. Before the dawn. The garden is here. The pavilion is here. And you are here. Now, you have been to Kyoto tonight. In your mind. In your imagination. You walked through the garden. In the darkness before dawn. You heard the gravel beneath your feet. You sat beside the pond. You touched the gold. In a dream. Not many people can say that. How was your first visit to Kyoto? I hope it was everything you imagined. and more. Now, it is time to come home. Gently, slowly. Let the garden fade. The pond, the pavilion, the gold, the stars, all of it, softly fading. Like a dream at dawn. And here you are. Back where you started. Warm. Still. At rest. The garden is still there. Whenever you need it. It will be waiting. Sleep well.